enemy Sage.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Full Nerd Academia Podcast. I'm your host, Master D Maito. Thanks for joining us live. If you're joining us live, if you're not, thanks for catching us on the replay. But I can't do this by myself. You know, I gotta have somebody with me. I gotta have my mains, my day one, my hitter. I don't know what else to say except. Get ready to. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Your mic, bro. I can't hear you. You're muted.
I fucked up. It never fails. At least one show.
Every show, at least one a show.
I was too busy. This time I was too busy jamming, bro. You don't understand, yo. That shit is a banger. I can't wait for next week. I gotta switch it up, though.
Yeah, man.
I'm coming back, but I gotta switch it up.
What's going on?
You understand? I look forward to Tuesdays to watch him. Just watch him wrestle. So
yeah,
he's good. But happy 2 weeks. It's good to be back with you as usual. And how's your week so far?
It's been busy, man. For one, I mean, for my job, we're just ramping up for the next holiday, which is 4th of July in another week and a half or so. And it's been hot. It's been hot as crap, dude. What about you? How have you been? How's your week been?
So far my weekend's been pretty good. Didn't do what I wanted to do, but it's going pretty good. So I started The Boys last week, which I was telling you. I'm in season 2, so it's pretty good so far. I can see why people are making big fuss, big hype about it. But I also want to say, speaking of The Boys and superheroes, I want to say shout out to my hero over here for I think it was last weekend.
Oh,
during the week? Yeah, so I know I'm gonna let him tell the story. But huge shout out to Maito over here for his contribution.
Okay.
Put you on the spot. I'm sorry.
That's okay, man. So what he's talking about is I at work. What day was that? Was that Tuesday or Wednesday?
I believe it might.
No, it's Tuesday. So Tuesday, towards the end of the end of my work day, I work in grocery stores, right? I stock shelves and stuff like that. So I was on my lunch. I was on like maybe the last 20 minutes or so of my lunch. So I went out to my car, sitting in my car, maybe about 15 minutes rolls by, and I start hearing like a banging on like a window. And so there's like a black truck maybe about a space away from me. Not next to me, but like there's a space in between us. And so I like look over, it's a big black truck, murder tints, black on black, everything, right? And I could kind of just barely make out. It looked like, a little kid in the back seat, like screaming and like tapping on the glass. So I get out, I look at the truck, there's no windows open, the car's not on. I try the door handle, it's locked. So, I'm like shouting like, hey, can you like unlock the door? So the little girl jumps to the front seat, unlocks the door, and then so I like open the door, and mind you, I can feel the heat coming out of there. It's like hot, and at this time it's literally like it's probably like 90 something degrees that day, especially at that time in the afternoon. It's like over 90. I don't know what the humidity was, probably made it a little bit hotter, whatever. Either way, these kids are in. It's 2 little girls and then a baby sitting in the back seat of this truck, and it's like leather seats, so it's like it's cooking in this it's like cooking in this freaking truck. Uh, so I'm like, hey, get out of here, get out of the truck, because like sitting in there, they're just gonna keep it getting hot or whatever. So like I open both back doors so that, because there's a baby in there, I'm not gonna like grab the baby, pull it out necessarily, but I at least wanted to like get some air. I helped pull the little girls out. I had like an extra bottle of water. Like if you guys seen, I usually have a big old huge bottle of water. I usually drink one while I'm on the show, so I had an extra one. I like cracked it open, gave it to him. I was like, "Here, drink some water." And then from there, I just like went to go get help inside the store, had them come out. Originally, I was thinking maybe they'll just like call over the PA, but they were like, "No, like show us what's going on," and they called 911. That's I'll just leave it at that, because the rest of the story just kind of goes into a bunch of other stuff, and I don't necessarily need to get into all that. So all in all, like I'll get some little girls out of a burning hot truck that they were left in for a little while. So yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, so I had to shout him out. I had to, well, not shout him out, but I had to shout you out for that. I felt like that was a great thing. It was an awesome thing that you did as well. Especially so I was a parent, so definitely want to say I know you don't have one on you. You said it not cold, but I just want to give you a nice salute.
So I mean, that's water, but yeah,
Nah.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I folks, a little PSA: don't leave your kids in the car during the hot summer days unless the car is on and is going to stay on, or you have like the windows down and it's like a quick trip in and out of the store. Don't be leaving them in there for 45 minutes plus. Okay, 5-10 minutes max, and with the windows down, so with something something cool to drink so that they can stay cool. If you have to leave them in the car, otherwise, take them inside the damn store. Okay.
Yeah, that wasn't smart, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, so on to our next topic. I know we have some interesting things that we definitely will be talking about today. So first, we want to start with season 2 of My Adventures of Superman. And man, season 1 was good. I thought season 1 was great. We both aren't. Oh, we're gonna do
My
Acolyte. Oh, that's right. Okay, I forgot. All right. Season 2. It's actually starting with some bangers. I'm not gonna lie. It's literally banger after banger after banger after banger. There's only 4
It
episodes.
really is. And we're 4 episodes in now, and I think by tomorrow it'll be at 5.
Maybe 5. Yeah. So I'm really enjoying it. It's so cool that we're starting to see more characters that are starting to fill out. Like we got a spoiler, by the way. I don't know if you want to throw the spoilers up there for this part. So now we are starting to see Lex Luthor. Well, they didn't call him Lex, and he's not bald, so it's Alexander Luthor. We actually got his cousin now in the last episode, which was a fire episode, and we're getting Brainiac as well. So we're seeing. Well, we also have Amanda Waller, but who cares? But yeah,
It was
she
all
was,
in.
yeah, she was in the last season too. But man, like, what's going on? I definitely got to say you have to watch this cartoon. Like this to me, in 2024, I'm gonna say this is probably the second best cartoon that we've got so far.
Uh, yeah, I would say so. What you gonna say is first? Invincible or
Was
no?
it? No, I'm thinking of something else that we saw recently that we said is probably like the best cartoon that we've seen in this time period. Oh no, no, no. Oh yeah, no. Number 2, X-Men '97.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%, 100%. X-Men 97 is number 1. That's
Yeah,
top charts right now for
yeah,
sure.
and My
Uh,
Adventures of Superman to
Watch.
me is definitely a nice number 2, and then probably Invincible. But My Adventures of Superman is really good, and everybody knows I am not a Superman fan, and I'm saying it's really great.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's a just like we said from season 1. I mean, it's an awesome. It's got awesome animation style. It's got like an anime aesthetic, even though it's like an American cartoon. But like the story is it's very much set up like an anime would be.
Hmm.
Some of the like the sequence, like the transformation sequences, or like how the powers work, and it's 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 Superman, but like also sort of like modern day. A lot of the like characters and stuff, especially like the villains and stuff, are sort of like brought into the modern times, especially like, and it's made to fit within the story that they're telling, which is, Superman, even though he grew up here, not knowing that he was an alien, learning that he is an alien, and then learning like there's a huge, like, he's connected to a whole lot of stuff with a lot of different people that he had no idea about, and like it's pretty awesome. It's still, they just basically pick up right where they left off in season 1, and they're just like in the ground running. These first 4 episodes have been great, and like now we've got Supergirl, who, like, spoilers, doesn't seem like she's too fond of Superman right now, and might be a little bit of an antagonist for the time being. So I'm curious to see where it goes. It's been really good, and like the Easter eggs, on every episode are just like pretty awesome. Like you see new stuff all the time. You're like, oh, I know that. Wait, look. Right, exactly. So, yeah, man, it's just a great watch, and I mean, if you haven't tuned in yet, definitely tune into it. It's new episodes every Sunday
at 9 a.m.
At 9 a.m. on Max. So I don't know if it airs on Adult Swim at all. It may or may not. I'm not entirely sure.
It does. It airs on Adult Swim first, and then it comes on Max after.
Okay. Yeah,
like the next day.
They did in the season 1. So, but yeah, definitely check it out, man. It's great. We may not be talking about it every week, but I think that every time something big goes down, we'll definitely try to do a quick review or talk about it or whatever at the top of every episode. So, but
yeah,
move on to the next thing.
Yes, sir. We got to go backwards, I believe.
I just go forward because I had it.
Bing, 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 bing. The way you do that, that's what it reminded me of. Bing, bing, bing. And it's like it's rolling into like Darth Vader.
Yeah, a little bit, right? But
yeah.
It's a small picture. But...
So that's better.
We're not going to talk too deep about it because I have some thoughts. As a whole, it's not bad, but I wouldn't say that this is the best Star Wars that I've seen. What about you?
Hands down, definitely not. First episode, I think the first 2 episodes really good. The second one, they did it too early about the flashback. And the fourth one's actually pretty solid. It's too slow. It kind of reminds me of Andor, and it's kind of tearing me away to watch it, but it's not bad.
So, I misjudged what this show was. So, like,
me too.
At the very beginning of it, I thought it was going to be like hey, this is going to be a murder mystery type of show. We're going to be, on this long investigation at trying to figure out who this quote unquote acolyte is, right? Only for us to find out, like, literally in the first 20 minutes of the show, maybe less, I was like, oh, it's a twin. And then for us to find out, oh yeah, it is a twin. And like, one is good, one's evil type jam. And I was just like, oh, okay, like, sure. But then they kind of pulled away from it that way a little bit too much, because like second episode they leaned into it a little bit, but then by the third episode they kind of really pulled out from it, and I was just like I didn't mind getting that and learning a little bit more like background on who these 2 characters are, but it definitely made it seem a lot more like, okay, well, this is sort of like a all evil by circumstance type of deal. So I was just like, oh, well, all right, I guess. And now it seems more like what the mystery is going to be is like, who is this mysterious, dark sider, if you will, or a person who wants to kill all these Jedi that's not the person who should be wanting to kill the Jedi. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So for me, okay.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
So for me, I felt like this was supposed to be. I thought it was supposed to be like a story of a certain Jedi, and this is supposed to be before the whole Skywalker ordeal. So we're getting a true backstory to the whole Jedi and Sith. That's what I felt like it was. That's what I thought it was gonna be, like something like that, where like you have the backstory to like where like Jedi came from. Even though they're gonna be focused on one Jedi, and then the backstory of like Sith, and then like you get to see like how it all started and when something like that. So that's what I thought it was gonna be like when I first saw like the trailers and things. And I'm not really disappointed.
Mm.
Um, but I'm expecting more.
Yeah, I knew I could see where you got that stuff from, but I just knew from reading about it that it wasn't going to be that. But I definitely I definitely knew that there was going to be some elements of who are these, supposed Darksiders or whatever like that. Because when this takes place, which is in the High Republic era, there's not supposed to be any sort of dark side users per se. Especially, there's definitely not any Sith. That's for sure. Or at least there's not supposed to be. From what I had heard previously, is that the Sith don't exist during this time. Like this is in like it's called the High Republic because it's like the high times, like the peak type of like the peak of like the Jedi's power in the galaxy during the Republic before the fall of the Republic, which is starts at episode 1, 2, and 3 type of deal. So that's before the fall of the Jedi and before the fall of the Republic. So takes place 100 and some odd years. I think it's at 150 or some years before the events of like uh, the Phantom Menace. So I was like, okay, so there's not gonna be any Sith, but like it looks like there's Sith in here, and it's called the Acolyte. So you start thinking like, okay, maybe these are like the beginnings of what would eventually become the rule of two or the Sith, the Sith Empire or whatever the case may be. But like, I don't know, it's just I'm I'm reserving full judgment until obviously the very end, but so far it's not doing a ton to like really win me over. But I don't have nearly as many gripes about it as like quote unquote old Star Wars heads do, because there are people are Disney's ruining Disney's ruining our Star Wars, and it's too woke, it's too this, it's like the same freaking thing every time. And like at the same time, old Star Wars heads, like the ones who were there from the very beginning or who have been here from the very beginning, in terms of like Star Wars, like fanaticism, uh, they they hated the prequels, and like they still to this day will shout about the prequels being bad. But like honestly, even though it's the era I grew up in, yes, but I love the prequels, dude. Phantom Menace wasn't the greatest to me, but like I mean, Revenge of the Sith was probably the best, definitely the best of the trilogy. Attack, I would say, it's like in terms of like ranking those three, it would be Revenge of the Sith, then Phantom Menace, and then Attack of the Clones. I feel like. Attack of the Clones to me was just like, kind of garbage. There was parts of it that were good, but they weren't like the best.
I'm gonna have to agree on that. I mean, I actually like Phantom Menace. The reason why is because I told you, I like Qui Gon Jinn. I thought Qui Gon Jinn was like very, of course, he's very important to the whole Skywalker story. But that, all right, the biggest thing to me between the Disney versions, which I sent you this. Either you sent this to me or I sent this to you. I forgot which one it was. Is the fight scenes? I think you sent it to me.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, the fight scenes back then, so much better. Even 4, 5, and 6 fight scenes so much better compared to them what they were now. Like the fight scenes are so bad. Outside of Ahsoka,
yeah.
Ahsoka had some good fight scenes.
Ahsoka definitely had some good fight scenes. Mandalorian, in terms of like Jedi fights, there's two that really like stand out, and it's probably the two that was actual Jedi. It was the first time that they meet Ahsoka, which is called the Jedi, and then the first time that like it was the end of season 2, the season finale, when Luke came out and like took out all those freaking dark troopers on the ship, and it came
Oh,
and took
yeah. That was
like
really good.
those were both all sick, and then most of Ahsoka to me was like really good because it blended very well the George Lucas's style and aesthetic in terms of like what he wanted a Jedi fight to be, and the like prequel era, like the big flashy like movements and like long drawn out choreography and all this other stuff. So like it was definitely a blend of, I feel like it was a good blend of the two. Whereas like in the Disney era or this the sequel era, were the fights cool? Sure, but I don't know. It just never felt like there was really any stakes in them for some, to some degree. At times they were cool. At times it was just like, okay, these are a little slower paced. They don't seem too much like, and they're not slower paced in like, slower paced for a reason. It was like slower paced because, maybe the choreography was slower or whatever the case may be. I don't know. Either way, they just weren't the greatest. And so like, even in this, like, I would say maybe the one fight at the very beginning of the Acolyte, so in the very like first 5 minutes of the first episode, that was cool.
Oh yeah,
it was cool, but it was also like she just got stabbed by a knife and dead now.
I felt the same way. I was like that. Like I understand the part where like she used the Force to save the other person, but I don't want to say cliche. It was it was lame that she got stabbed by trying to protect somebody else. Which I mean, I understand that because that's what Jedi do. Jedi are there to or they're there to keep the peace in the Force or keep peace, and that's what she was trying to do without trying to really go hard.
Right.
And like they said, in that part I understood. Like they said, Jedi don't back in that times. Jedi weren't allowed to take out their lightsabers unless they were going to kill. She said that, and she's like, "Yeah." She said, "I thought Jedi were not supposed to take out their lightsabers unless they're going to kill. So you gotta kill me." Yeah. So I was like, "Oh, all right. I mean, sounds good, but damn, you died like that."
Right, and that's very much like keeping to. It's very much keeping to like old like Bushido and like Samurai Code.
Yep.
What the Jedi were supposed to be based on and everything, anyway. So that part's cool, and it was cool to see Carrie Ann Moss, aka Trinity from the Matrix, doing kung fu shit again. That was pretty sick. So I just hate that she got freaking just stabbed so easily and just taken out so quick. I have
first one to go.
Say what?
She was the first one to go.
She's the first one to go, and like I've heard some theories that maybe she's not actually dead, which like maybe, but still I don't know. I don't feel like they would. From the story that they're telling, it just doesn't seem like they would hold on to her for very long in the present time if she actually is alive. But anyway.
But we still both can agree that out of out of all the stuff that we got Star Wars wise, I think we both agreed that Clone Wars is like still like the best thing that we've got from Star Wars.
Oh, 100%. Like,
so I don't want nobody to be fooled out there. Like, these both think Star Wars Clone Wars, the cartoon, was still probably the best thing that we've got for Star Wars.
Literally, like the best. It's like literally the best anything Star Wars related. And like, I'm not saying that the Rebels is bad because it's not by any shot.
No,
I feel like it helps to bridge the gap so much between all three. Not between all three movies, but it helps bridge the gap between episode 2 and 3
Mm-hmm.
and then that helps to build on like what goes forward with Bad Batch into what's going to into what becomes the original trilogy and stuff.
Yep.
Much more context as to like how does Anakin Skywalker fall to the dark side? How does he become Darth Vader?
It gives
I
that more full on.
like,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. I was gonna say it gives that more full on depth of Anakin and what he's done as a Jedi Master, even though he wasn't a Jedi Master.
Right.
Yeah. So it was dope to see. It's I can't get my words out because I'm thinking of so much, but like it was so cool to see Anakin as a Jedi Master with a Padawan and a dope Padawan at that.
Right. Exactly. Um. Yeah, man. I mean, so the Acolyte. Well, I'm gonna keep watching it just because I wanna. I want to. I want to give it a chance. I want to see if it is going to end up being any good. But I'll reserve my judgment for when the whole thing is out, and we know it, front to back, what it's going for.
Mm-hmm.
As of right now, I'm just kind of on the fence about it, but we'll see going forward.
Yes, same.
Anything else you want to touch on for the Acolyte before we move into the meat and potatoes of the episode?
So before we start, I do want to say I don't know if I said this last time. I'm gonna say it one more time. August 1st, The Cape Crusader, Batman, Amazon Prime. All 10 episodes will be there. All 10, so we can binge watch it. There's no waiting 1 week after 1 week after 1 week. Um, and there's not a trailer, but you can actually hear the voice of Batman who's playing Batman. There's something I gotta send that to you. I meant to send that to you.
Oh yeah, dude. I think I've seen it floating around, but I just haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, it's really not worth watching, honestly. It's just him talking, and then he's just naming off a bunch of names that's going to be on the show. And actually, there's a name that actually surprised me that I did not expect to see there.
Is it somebody who's playing Catwoman or Harley?
I believe so.
Who is it?
Christina Ricci.
Oh,
Yeah, that shocked me, and I said, "Oh wow, Christina. Okay, I see you, girl."
playing who?
I don't know who she's playing. It just said her name when like when he was talking about the show, and then he just started naming names. Like there's no names to like who somebody's gonna be. It was just he was just naming like names off of like and you see him like on the screen and he's saying it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
like it's gonna sound like to me it sounds like Spider-Man Noir in that kind of universe, like the way he's speaking.
I get you. Like a little
Yeah.
bit older, sort of old timey, like 20s and 30s type of speak, right?
Yeah.
I get you. Dude, Christina Ricci. Wow. I'm trying to think if I ever heard her do any voice work before.
I don't remember ever hearing her do voice work before. So this is gonna be actually kind of exciting to see. Or hear, I should say, not see, but hear.
Yeah.
And then one more I have that I was told in August. I don't know if anybody else watches it or watched it. I'm a fan. Only Murders in the Building is coming back in August as well.
Okay. See, I haven't caught that, but you've told me about it before. You spoke very highly of it.
Yeah, definitely a must watch. If you like murder mystery, you like murder mysteries like that, and podcasting, which we do. Definitely watch it. It's really good. I really enjoy that.
For sure. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check it out then.
All right, so now it's time to get into those meat and potatoes, baby. Let's. You want to bring it up? Want me to bring it up? You want to sip? I sip, 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 sip.
So today, folks, this is a little trend that's been popping around. I've seen it on like TikTok and other social media, and I thought this was a good idea for the episode today. So basically, what we're going to be talking about is like who our Mount Rushmores of certain characters in different comic book media would be. So like what we're going to start with is we're going to start with the superheroes. Like, so we're going to talk about the heroes of DC, then we're going to do the villains of DC, and then we'll go through. We'll do Marvel, and then if there's time, we might even hit some indie comics, and then maybe if there's still some time at the end, I'm gonna try and see like maybe of all time, like of any like who would we put up on the Mount Rushmore of all comics? Whether that's we could try to pull some from each, or like who we feel is going to be like the most influential from each one, and put it up on our Mount Rushmore or whatever here. So, but let's go ahead and start it off with with DC. Who hang on, get back on here. So
Come on, bro, get your life right.
say what?
And I say, come on, bro, get your life right.
Shut up. Anyways, hold up.
Shut up, bitch!
There we go.
Let's talk about the superheroes of DC first. Who are our four influential people that we're going to be putting up on that Mount Rushmore? Who's going on the Mount Rushmore of DC superheroes?
So we both got to agree, and this is definitely number one. Batman. Batman is automatically number one for the both of us. We're both Batman fans. So like, I'm not really a Batman fan. He's more of a Batman fan than I'm a Batman fan. I just like arguing with him that I'm a bigger Batman fan than he is. But Batman to us definitely number one. World's greatest detective. We base our characters off of even when we talk about DC Universe, we base our characters off of him. Even when we try to make our comic book characters, we kind of have some similarities to Batman. But Batman definitely is number one on that. He's the head. He's the center of the Mount Rushmore.
Right, 100%. Yeah, no, there's no denying it. And I mean, I think there's probably two or three that we're going to agree on here. So 100% Batman has to be on the superheroes Mount Rushmore for DC. Yeah. Like he's one of the very first comic book characters from DC Comics. I mean, DC is named after the comics that he appeared in, which is Detective Comics. So like Detective Comics number 27 to be exact. Anyways, but like Batman is like the quintessential non-powered superhero. He's the quintessential detective type of hero. He basically represents the peak of humanity in comic books, right? Where everybody's just like, I mean, it's part of the arguments of like who would win. It was always like who would win, Batman or Superman, or who would win, Batman and it's because and literally there's people online who get so mad at Batman fans because it's like, well, Batman with enough prep time, that's kind of the answer, So automatically, like Batman goes up on Mount Rushmore. He's probably like that first face, either the first face or like you said, somewhere towards the middle there. Like he's right there. He's like the very first one. You think superheroes, especially from DC Universe, it's Batman.
Yeah.
Like to the second one. No, go ahead. My bad.
I also wanted to say that you can't have DC without Batman. So like Batman is literally the face of DC. So like even with like a lot of the DC animated movies that came out, a lot of people were upset, me included, that they're saying, yo, Batman is literally in every movie. And there's a reason why, because he carries the face of DC Comics. But yeah, number two, who do you got for your number two?
It's obvious, it's Superman at that point.
Yeah, same. I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one. Superman, another one. Baby Blue or Big Blue, as they say, not Baby Blue, Big Blue. He's the face. Superman is not only, he's not like a face of DC. He's a big part of the Trinity. But he is like yeah. So he's like America's favorite. He's like the Dallas Cowboys. He sucks, but you gotta love him.
I would agree with that. Like, well, even as like him and I, we say all the time, we're not Superman fans, but you got to give him his respect. You got to give him his flowers because he literally is like one of the first. He's like the first mainstream superhero. I don't want to say he's the first superhero because back in the early days of like pulp fiction or pulp comic books or pulp books or whatever they used to call, there were some people that were sort of superhuman and stuff. But he's the first one that's like out and out, like he's got superpowers. He's, he was the first mainstream superhero, and he's like the archetype in which all superheroes are based. I mean, there's no way that you can't. The man literally has dozens and upon dozens of like pastiches or like clones or copies from various different media. I mean, you don't if you don't have Superman, you don't get Homelander, you don't get Omni-Man, you don't get Hyperion, you don't get Gladiator, you don't get freaking Sentry, you don't get
Superboy, Bizarro,
get All Might, you don't get any of them without Superman, like because they're all based on Superman.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Which, by the way, for anybody who wants to sit here and argue and say that Homelander would kill Superman, you're out of your damn mind. Okay? You're out of your damn mind.
I'm watching. Yo, Superman will fuck Homelander. I'm only in season 2, but Superman will beat the crap out of Homelander. And it's without a problem.
Superman will fuck him up.
Yeah. Like, and it's not even close. Like, I'm watching this, and I'm seeing people say, "Oh, Homelander will beat Superman." I say, "All right, hold on, time out. Let's get something straight here. First of all, let me tell you why Superman is Superman." And I'm not gonna go into like you and I conversation about like when I was arguing with you, and I'm like, "Yo, Superman is at like cheeks," and then you brought up that one fact that way he can basically move that other thing that you showed me recent, and I'm like, "Oh shoot, I completely forgot about that. I was thinking about that one." But I was still trying to argue, and I was like, yeah, I would have lost this argument. I'm going to start with basic Superman. I'm going to start with, I'm not going to start with basic. I'm going to start with Justice League cartoon Superman. And he said this perfectly clear. When he fought Darkseid, he said, "Oh, now I got somebody that actually can take something I can throw." What? I don't have to hold back anymore. Huh? He would punch a hole through Homelander, and then he would do it with no problem, with ease.
With ease, like just because Homelander is the strongest in his universe, which, like, let's get this straight. He was a test tube baby. He was a test tube experiment, like
from Compound V.
And he was a human who received superpowers, not one that was born and like has powers because of Earth's yellow sun and has been bathing in it from the time he was a child. Like, and on top of that, like that panel that I showed you, freaking like Superman has upgraded his powers exponentially over the last 80 something years that he's been around.
Mm-hmm.
He's been around for almost 100 years, folks. Like, he's had almost every superpower. The man literally can pull solar systems. Get me? He can pull solar systems out of a black hole, like away from a black hole, rather. He can fly between different multiverses through their suns in a matter of seconds.
Bro.
Time, space, weight, none of that has any effect on him anymore. Like, he ain't nobody beating him, is what I'm trying to say.
Not even close.
The time that he gets beat like any time that he's ever gotten beat is because either somebody got the drop on him, or he was holding back. When it comes to straight out and out like fist fights with somebody, he's stomping everybody.
Oh, hands down.
I'm stomping everybody. Like, there's no fucking
like Homelander. Okay, he's strong and he has heat vision, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I like that lobotomizing. Superman did that already. Just want to put that out there. Superman, ask Captain Marvel and Injustice. Ask Captain Marvel what happened to him. I think he's the only one.
What's his name? Ask Manchester Black from the Elite. He freaking.
Oh my God.
He didn't straight up lobotomize him, but he cut out the thing in his brain that gave him power. It's like, you don't need that anymore.
Yes. Come on now.
Can't hurt anybody anymore.
He uses his powers to shave. He literally uses his heat vision to shave. Like, come on, that's not dangerous, not at all.
Yeah. So the crux of our argument is ain't nobody beating Superman in any form of media. I don't think there's anybody. There's maybe one person I think that could probably give him a run for his money, and that's maybe Blue Marvel. Aside from that, I don't think anybody's fucking Superman out.
No.
And
I have to say it.
Right. And like I said, again. So that's one of the main. That's the biggest reason why Superman is. One of the biggest reasons why Superman's up on that Mount Rushmore. And again, because he's literally like the first mainstream superhero. Got to give him his flowers. He's the basis for which there are more and more superheroes. You don't get him. You don't get half of the other people that like are out there like nowadays. So
no.
But yeah, so that's two. We got two more to go on our Mount Rushmore. Who would you say is number 3 on the Mount Rushmore? DC?
We got to keep it. We got to keep it. Last but not very least, as a Trinity, Wonder Woman. You can't. There's no way you can have DC without Wonder Woman. She's very important, not only as a female to DC and not only to Justice League, but to DC itself. I don't see like why you should not like you literally are going to have to argue with me of why you're not having Wonder Woman as your head of your Mount Rushmore. I would think you're crazy if you don't have Wonder Woman up there.
Right. I was torn back and forth between this because the biggest thing I was trying to think of, I was like, okay, as far as like influential figures and stuff like that, influential figures of DC superheroes, and I was like trying to think. You kind of sparked something to me earlier when you said Flash, and I was like, yeah, that would be a good replacement for her. But just in general, like you think of, woman, you think of women superheroes, you think of female superheroes.
First person that comes up is Wonder Woman.
First person that comes to mind is Wonder Woman. It's Wonder Woman or Supergirl, and at that point, I would argue that it's Wonder Woman. As far as like the most influential, it has to be her. And she's the one who does it the best for female superheroes, I would imagine, just because like it's because of what she stands for, which is which is truth, and then on top of that, it's like she doesn't need a man to do anything for her; she can do it herself.
No, yeah, and she's literally on an island full of women who feels that way. I can do this by myself. I don't need no man to do this for me. I'm an Amazon.
100%. I mean, like, she's the basis for. I would argue that she's the basis for, all other female superheroes. You know what I mean? So like,
hands down.
I don't think you get half of the especially when it comes to superheroes, like people who have powers and stuff. I feel like you don't get to. I don't even think you get to a Supergirl without Wonder Woman.
You don't.
I don't think you get to Starfire without Wonder Woman. I don't think you get to Raven or any of the other big female superheroes in DC, let alone even Marvel Comics, without Wonder Woman.
I agree with you.
I mean, just and like it even shows like in the last few years that they like just how important Wonder Woman is to the DC universe, because like she became what was called was that Hand of Creation, if I'm not mistaken. Like the goddess of truth. She became the goddess of truth before that, but then she learned the truth and became a god of, or one of the hands of creation, or at least was imbued with powers from the hands of creation, which literally just means like the writers acknowledge that she's one of the greatest superheroes that there is. So hence, like she's right there up on. I mean, there's a reason why she's part of what's called the DC Trinity. You got Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. Like that's the trinity of superheroes right there in terms of DC.
And you know what makes her scary? Her weakness. her weakness is the craziest thing that you will ever think of. How do you beat Wonder Woman?
You
Let her keep fighting. Like what?
right? Really,
Let her
like,
tire herself out, and that's
well,
not easy to do.
right. Which like she has a weakness to her own lasso, so it's a weakness to her own magic. But like, how you gonna get that off of her? How you gonna get that
Good
lasso
luck.
off? You're not going to. Good luck, exactly. And then the only other way to only way for Wonder Woman to like be killed is for her to like literally be in a constant fight for however long on end before she finally freaking like falls out and dies.
And if I'm correct, I forgot what movie it was. I think she was fighting for 4 days before when the cops were sitting there before Cyborg got there and was like, yeah, he was like, how long has she been at this? How long was she at this? And I think he said 4 days, and I was like, damn.
I don't think it was that long because you're talking about Justice League Doom because that all supposedly happened in one night.
Oh, it's supposed to be one night. Okay, I thought it was like
even still see with that movie, I think it was a little too over dramatized. I would imagine like she would probably fight for a very long time. And if I'm trying to remember, there was somewhere that I heard like it was basically like she had to fight. It was like a mirror image of herself. She was fighting like a mirror image of herself, and she was fighting it for so long before she even started to break a sweat. It was just like
fighting yourself. Okay. You break a sweat for like weeks. Nah, I don't want to fight you.
Right.
Mommy's always on top.
Literally
is. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Wonder Woman's up there with like one of the only people like in terms of giving Superman work, she could definitely give Superman work.
Oh, hands down.
Once it gets to the point of him not holding back, maybe not as much. So it literally the only two weaknesses that she really has is tiring herself out and possibly Superman. But even in like some stories, she was giving Superman the work. So like it's like she like I said, she's right up there. She has to be on the Mount Rushmore DC superhero. But you got anything else to say about superhero or
Wonder Woman? No.
Before we move on.
No, because actually I'm kind of curious to hear your four, because I actually had to switch mine, and I think that's what I'm saying. I feel like we're about to be on the same page, but I don't think we are though at the same time. I want to see who you say.
This is one that I've been knocking around, and like the only other thing I can think of is that I would almost have to say that Nightwing has to be.
He's the. I already know you're about to say it. I'm about to say it for you. Nightwing is the perfect example of being on Mount Rushmore. First off, he started as a sidekick.
Right. And then not only did he start off as a sidekick, but he started off as the sidekick.
Yeah, the main sidekick. Like he is the starter kit for a sidekick.
Right, exactly. He's the archetype for what a sidekick is. Robin is what the archetype for a sidekick. Without Robin, you don't get freaking Speedy, you don't get Kid Flash, you don't get Wonder Girl, you don't get any of the Teen Titans, quote unquote. The first iteration of Teen Titans, which was they were just sidekicks of, you don't get any of Young Justice, you don't get any of that without Robin. And then who does Dick Grayson, the very first Robin, become? He becomes Nightwing. And there's a reason why Nightwing and the Titans become the premier super team in DC now, is because of Nightwing's influence.
Yep.
Because of Nightwing's influence,
And then not only that, you also forgot the big story of he trained under the one of the greatest superheroes of our time to be like, I don't want to be like him. That's not who I am. I want my own persona. I don't want to be me. To go to Superman and talk to him, number 2 on that list, to say, look, I love, much respect for Bruce, all the things that he's done for me. He's a great person, but looking at it now, that's not who I want to be. gives him a story. So you know what? I'm taking your story, which I'm taking number 2, and then this is the persona that I'm making. Like, and then he runs his own team. Like, he's ran his own team since Robin, but he runs his own team of sidekicks. Then to make it, like you said, now they're the premier story of DC right now. So like, I got to agree with you. Like, that's why I was putting on my number 4 too. At first, I was gonna say Flash, and I honestly thought we were about to argue of Barry versus Wally, and I was like, nah. I have a feeling him and I are on the same page, and it's gonna be Nightwing.
Nah, I honestly, I think it has to be Nightwing. Dude. Like,
I agree with you. It got to be
because like look at it, dude. Like, so all the Mount Rushmore, we've got Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Nightwing. All of them archetypes for specific versions of superheroes within the comic book genre. You know, you get your dark brooding hero in Batman. You get your golden boy freaking, like, you know, Truth, Justice, the American Way, Big Blue Superman. You got your, you know, your independent, you know, I don't need a man, strong, very strong, you know, female archetype in Wonder Woman, and then you got the sidekick, and then not only that, but sidekick turned superhero in Nightwing.
Yeah, one of the best sidekicks to ever do it. Not the protege, but the face, like you said, the face of a sidekick,
right?
To become a superhero.
And like, so I could understand an argument for Flash, especially. I want to say Barry Flash, but the only reason I want to say Barry Flash is because of the time in which he came onto the scene. When Barry Allen Flash came out onto the scene in DC Showcase, like, that was like the end of the Golden Age era and like the start of the Silver Age era. So he was sort of like the face of the new type of comic book characters that were going to be coming out from there, which were more sci-fi based, more like science based, as opposed to like, oh, this is a cosmic alien, oh, this is a magic woman, oh, this is just a dude. This was like, hey, there's some science involved in this. There's a new kind of superhero. There's not only that, but then once it gets further into his story, then you start dealing with like time, you know, like timey-wimey shenanigans, or like crossing into multiverses and stuff like that.
Which is still science. Yeah.
Right, which is still science-based. So like, I could see an argument for him being up on that Mount Rushmore. I would say if there were 5 faces on that Mount Rushmore, it would be, you know, the 4 we listed plus Flash. But there's only 4, and I honestly gotta say that I feel like Nightwing is much more important to comic books, especially DC comic books, than Flash right now.
I hands down, I definitely agree. I think that's like the perfect DC hero Mount Rushmore. And I gotta agree with you. 1 through 4, because I was thinking the exact same thing. Like I was thinking Flash for number 4, and I was like, you know what? I can't say that. Why? Because I have to go with Nightwing. Nightwing is like not only the face of, like you said, I mean, it's literally like you say, he's the face of not only just one spot, but he has a bigger role in a second spot as well. So I'm at this. I got a great choices. I got to clap because I had a feeling we're going to be on the same page on one of them. But I guarantee you, once we go to Marvel, it's not going to be the same. So
yeah, I don't think it's going to be either. But so let's move on then from the heroes. Let's go into villains of DC. You want to start off? You want to kick it off?
Which one you want me to go with first? You want me to go with Metropolis, or you want me to go with Gotham?
You do you, man, and we'll go from there. Okay.
Number 1 for me is Lex Luthor. The man is the most diabolical, funniest. Even though Joker's funny, but he's the most diabolical, funniest villain in the DC comics.
Pettiest too.
And he's the most petty. Did I see you a video of that? There's like who's the biggest, like who you consider the biggest villain in DC comics? And it was like, yeah, you can put Joker, yeah, you can put such and such. It's Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor is the most pettiest person in the world. Why? One, he hates Superman. What does he do in order to spite Superman? He gets kryptonite. He takes the kryptonite, flashes it around, gives it to Metallo so Metallo can, and so he can find a way to beat Superman. That doesn't work. You know what? I'm gonna make a suit out of this for myself so I can beat him my damn self and I can look like the hero. And then that didn't work. I'm gonna become the president of the United States. Bro, how do you become the president of the United States just to spite somebody who's bigger than you?
Right. And then like the whole thing. So for one, I agree with you. I would say Lex Luthor too. But also, like, you want to talk about petty? The man, before Superman arrives on the scene, has everything anyone could want, right? He's got money, he's got power, he's got influence, and it's something that he built himself. Started from the ground up, and then like built all this himself. He's got the money, he's got the power, he's got the influence. He's a good-looking dude. He runs his own company. He runs it well. He's got anything a normal man could want. Then guess what? A superhero arrives on the scene who's got none of that shit, but you know what he's got? He's got a lot of superpowers and he saves people. He's got the hearts and minds of everyone around him. And Lex instantly was like, fuck that. I need the people's hearts and minds. I've got all this shit. I need their hearts and minds. You don't get it. You're not a man.
You're not from this planet.
You're not from this planet. You're not from this planet. They shouldn't be worshiping you. They should be worshiping me. He just turn any corner and like fucking Lex is there doing something petty for Superman.
Bro.
All the time.
I even skipped one that he did, and I didn't even think about until just now. Since I can't be you and I can't beat you, I'm gonna clone you twice. I'm gonna clone you.
Right. You get Bizarro and you get freaking
Superboy. It's like, bro, that's petty to the max.
Mm-hmm.
That is absolute petty to the max.
100%. Yeah. No. He has to be up on there.
Yeah.
He's like one of the greatest, in his own words, from Superman 1. One of the greatest minds of the 20th century. He is right up there.
He definitely is. And then, should we jump to number 2?
Yeah.
Joker.
I was gonna say it's got to be Joker, right?
It's like, Joker.
It's like an obvious, like, oh yeah, of course it's Joker, but like, yeah, it's Joker.
He could be 1 or 2, however you want to put it.
Like,
it depends on how you feel.
He's like, I don't want to say he's the archetype for an arch nemesis because he's really not. But like, when you think of bitter rivals, you think of Batman, Superman. You think of, you think of Batman, Joker, and you think of Superman, Lex Luthor. So Joker's got to be up there.
Oh, hands down. And that's another petty motherfucker right there too.
Oh, you want to talk about petty?
Bro, that man's petty to the max. He will jump through loops just to piss Batman off, just to get some attention.
Folks, I can't. So I don't remember what the storyline is, and so you're gonna have to forgive me. But it's a fairly recent story. Joker devises like a long plan to get Superman, or not to get Superman, sorry, to get Batman, back and basically make sure that Batman's only like hatred is for him. So like everyone kind of knows the origin of Batman. Sometimes it's changed up here and there, but for the most part, it's the basic principle of it is, his parents are killed in an alley in Crime Alley by a man who is just trying to get some money off of them, mugging them. And for the most part, that's been a person named Joe Chill. As it turns out, Joe Chill, after being arrested, after being put in jail and serving his time in jail, got out of jail eventually, got a job, worked a life, lived a life. Maybe not necessarily a great life, but he lived a life, and then come to find out, he regretted very much what he did to the Waynes and everything like that. But it was an act of desperation. It was something he didn't even really need to do. Instantly regretted it. But yeah, he got arrested, in jail, this and that. So as it turns out, he's out of jail. He's living a life. He gets kidnapped by the Joker. Right. He gets kidnapped by the Joker. Joker kidnaps Batman, puts him in a room. Because Joker knows this is the one man other than me that Batman despises. Because he took his parents from him. So what does he do? He basically sets up a therapy session between the two. To where Batman and Joe Chill are talking. He tells Joe Chill who he is. They speak about what happened between them, between Joe Chill and the Waynes. And Joe Chill, flat out says, the moment it happened, I instantly regretted it. I turned around and I thought I was going to get away, but even if I didn't get away, I probably would have turned myself in, type of deal. Like it was instant regret type of shit. He's like, I didn't. He's like, kid, I didn't mean to do this to you. I was just desperate, and it would have been anyone. And I'm sorry. He basically flat out says that he's sorry. Batman ends up forgiving him. After they talk after a while, Batman ends up forgiving him. The moment that he forgives him, the moment that Batman's they hug it out. They're he's like, Joe, I forgive you for what you've done, because without you, I wouldn't be the man who I am today. Joker comes in, kills Joe Chill, and tells Batman, good, now that you've healed from that, now I can be the only one that you're focused on. Bruh, you want to talk about petty. You want to talk about wanting the attention of somebody. Fucking Joker.
Nah, Joker is the funniest dude in the world. Yo, I'm gonna kidnap your Robin, and we're gonna make a movie out of this. We're gonna call it Under the Red Hood. Yo, kidnap, splits them up. I don't even know how he even fell for that. Splits them up. I know why. Jason went to go find his dad, but
his mother. But yeah.
No, his mother. Yes, you're right. Because they find out that his mother was working for the Joker. Has both of them tied up in a warehouse to go make Batman go look for him. I was like, nah, Joker's an asshole for this, and then kills him. He's like, yeah, well, you know what? You don't need him. Click. You don't need this kid. You need me.
Exactly.
Yo.
Paralyzes Barbara Gordon.
Shoots her in the back.
Torments freaking Commissioner Gordon to try and turn him insane so that freaking Batman can see all it takes is one bad day to turn somebody like the sanest person in Gotham into me. Doesn't end up happening, but that didn't stop him from fucking doing what he was doing.
Bro, the situation gets worse. It takes. I don't know if this is canon, but how with Batman, with the Batman Beyond with Tim, that wasn't canon, right?
No, it's canon to whatever that universe is, though.
Okay,
that's
he never caught Tim. He only caught Jason no. Yeah, he only caught Jason.
Yeah, that's canon. It's canon to that in the animated universe, which is
okay. So I would say,
where Tim was basically Jason and Tim put together. But yeah.
So I was going to say that he didn't catch Damien. Damien caught him and beat him with a crowbar. and then not only that, he laughs the shit off like it's nothing. Like, oh, this what do you say? This looks familiar. Like, what?
Bro, there's a reason. So there's a reason why the entire death metal event went down, and it's because of the popularity of Batman and Joker. The Batman Who Laughs is literally the two of them put together, and he's the one who set the entire thing in motion.
Bro,
Ultimately became like it was a crisis event.
yo, it was so bad that because I saw this on Instagram too. They had a little reel about it, and they were like, they said there's like 6 superheroes up there, and I think all of them from DC, or it was like no, I think there was 6 people up there, and they're all from DC, and they said who you think is the worst to deal with, and he said Batman. He's like, what? Like they looked at him like, why Batman? He said, first of all, Batman is horrible because they took one whole event, which was like you said, the Laughing Matter or whatever it's called, and it turned into a whole ordeal. And then and he was literally taking over universes. And then he said it got so bad to the point like, you know what? I'm gonna get other people just like me. And then he starts recruiting other Batman that's like him. So I was like, bro, that's terrible.
For real.
Oh, all right, back on track. All right.
But yeah, dude, no, I agree with you 100%. Joker's number 2. So Lex, Joker, number 3.
I really have to think about that one. And this one was hard.
It is hard, right? Because you almost want to say like, okay, well, you got, DC's good Trinity. You would want to do DC's bad Trinity, but like, in all honesty, dude, I don't see, like, I don't know 100% who Wonder Woman's nemesis is, because oftentimes, like, it's either like Ares or Cheetah. Sometimes it's Cersei. But like, even then, like, none of them really stand out to me as like, hey, this is Wonder Woman's greatest villain, right?
Mm-hmm. Honestly, if I'm going to have to pick a number 3, and not a lot of people might agree with it. Not a lot of people might agree with me on this. I might have to say Zoom.
I would agree with you on that. Zoom, or you mean Reverse Flash? You mean Reverse Flash, right?
Which one's first? Reverse, right? Reverse Flash is first? No,
Reverse
Zoom was first.
Flash.
Reverse Flash? Okay. So I might.
And on top of that, he's one from Flashpoint. So
So Eobard Thawne.
yeah.
That's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to have to say Eobard. Eobard is number 3 to me. The
would
man
say-
created his own Speed Force out of hate for the Flash.
Mhm.
Because he wanted to be like was that him? He wanted to be like the Flash from the future, and then he realized, like, I think, what is it, like, he needed to get rescued and Flash couldn't rescue him, so he was pissed off or something like that. Was that him? No, I might have the story mixed up.
Maybe that's Hunter's element. I'm not entirely certain, but it's basically, it's like without Flash, Reverse Flash wouldn't exist, and without Reverse Flash, Flash wouldn't exist.
Yep.
That was settled in Flashpoint. Like, it's a vicious cycle for them, because like the only way that Flash becomes the Flash is because
Reverse Flash goes back into the past to kill his mother.
The past, killing his mother, which sets Barry on the path to become a hero, which eventually makes him, turns him into the Flash. Which, by the way, he's his own bolt of lightning that crashed down into the freaking into his laboratory the night that he became the Flash. Like, it's that cyclical for them. But like, again, that doesn't happen unless Reverse Flash goes back into the past, to kill Barry's mother, and then become the Flash to influence Eobard Thawne to become a hero, not make it as a hero, and then become a villain. So like, it's like whole cycle with that. Yeah. So 100%, I would agree that Reverse Flash should be up there. People could probably argue it, but I don't see a good argument for why not. You know what I'm saying? Even though Gary's not on our hero Mount Rushmore, I feel like Reverse Flash needs to be on the villain Mount Rushmore in terms of like how influential he is to a set of characters.
Mm-hmm. I have a good number 4. So this one was a flip up as well. For me, it was between Gorilla Grodd, and Sinestro. Nah, you know what? No. Darkseid.
Okay. See, now that's where my head was at, either Darkseid or Doomsday, but I would argue probably Darkseid maybe better.
So at first I was thinking Lobo, and I was like, is he really a villain? No, he's more of an anti-hero.
Right.
He's a bounty collector. He's a bounty hunter. Oh no, I'm sorry. Slade Wilson.
Yeah, dude. So okay, so let's narrow this down here. So we're looking at Slade Wilson, Darkseid. I say Doomsday, but I would argue Darkseid over Doomsday.
Yeah, I will have to argue Darkseid over Doomsday as well. You know what? I'm to me, it's between Slade and Darkseid.
Yeah. Oh man, see that's tough. That's real tough because like as much as I want to say Darkseid, I can understand the argument for Slade Wilson. I can understand Deathstroke because he did bring some seriousness to what were supposed to be teenage comic books.
Mm-hmm.
With the freaking
Judas Contract.
Right, yeah. That brought some serious shit to the Titans and helped to form them into the team that they are now.
No, yeah, his fights with Batman.
His fights with Batman, his fights with Green Arrow.
Yeah, so his Slade is kind of deep, but man, Darkseid.
He's a universal threat.
Yeah, so we might have to give it to Darkseid.
I would say it's got to be Darkseid, right? Because his hunt for the anti-life equation trumps all else. At certain points, there's literal crisis events based around him.
Yeah, and the shit that he's done to not I want to say sabotage. Oh yeah, no, I'm not gonna say it. Never mind. I was about to make a joke. I was, we could throw up there Starro, but then I'll just be pissing myself and you off.
Shut up, bitch!
Exactly.
I don't
think
anybody putting a Starro up there. And he's the first villain that the Justice League fought. I was like, yeah, but there's a reason why they fucking made Darkseid their first, villain in the Justice League movie as opposed to fucking Starro. Like, come on now.
Oh, and damn near every movie that you see has a Justice League, Darkseid is literally up there.
Right.
Yeah, no, definitely have to go with Darkseid. Darkseid is number 4.
That's another thing. So, if there was a fifth face on that Mount Rushmore, I would say that we could squeak freaking Slade Wilson in there because
again, I don't know if I would squeak him there. I would. I was gonna say then again, I still probably want to squeak him there because then we still have Manta.
Yeah, to some degree.
There's a bit. Oh no, I was thinking of King. I was thinking of Ocean Master. Never mind. No, I'm right. Slade Wilson. Slade Wilson would be number 4. It's either Slade Wilson or Matt Lawton.
You mean 5?
I meant 5. Yeah, sorry.
And you mean Floyd Lawton? You're talking about Deadshot?
I said Matt Lawton. Yes, Floyd Lawton. Yes.
Matt Lawton.
Jesus. I don't know where I got Matt Lawton from.
Man, it's like Deadshot. Like, especially in more recent years, he's been more of an anti-hero with Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
I would argue for the better half of his career in DC Universe or DC Comics, I would say he's been more recognizable as somebody on Suicide Squad. But even still,
I agree.
Even still, but yeah, no. If we had a fifth face, folks, it would be Deathstroke. But otherwise, as it is on the DC monument, we've got Lex Luthor, Joker, Darkseid, and Reverse Flash.
Yep.
100%. All right. let's move on to. Hold on. 1 second.
Marvel.
Move on to Marvel here. Let me just.
I'm waiting for you because we both gonna agree with number one, so we might as well just get this out the way.
So now we're on to the Marvel Mount Rushmore, folks. You want to on the count of
let's go backwards. Let's start with the villains, actually.
Oh, you want to start with the villains? You want
to? Yeah, let's go different because we both know who number one is for the hero side. So let's go. Let's switch it up, and we want to start count to three. We both gonna agree who number one is.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Hold up. All right.
Shoot.
Where is it? Okay, I'm ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Victor Von Doom.
Oh.
Oh.
We'll talk about him next. Yes. Von Doom. Yes. Von Doom is that motherfucker in Marvel.
Bro, there's no way that you can't tell me Victor Von Doom is not the best villain in the Marvel universe. But we didn't see him yet in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which we're going to soon. In Marvel Comics, Victor Von Doom is the funniest, the pettiest, the dopest for no reason, the diabolical villain you'll ever see. But we're gonna start with why. This man has his own country. And a hero can't come into it unless he agrees that you can come there. And if you come there, the Doombots is on your ass. And he's not playing when he bring them Doombots out.
Right. More recently, he has his own X-Men team. He's got his own team of mutants. That's more recently, right? Let's jump back to. So it's either 1984 or 86. I can't remember when the first original Secret Wars was, but they followed it up with this, not a sequel. Well, they did do a sequel, but then they did a reboot or remake of Secret Wars in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Doom is that motherfucker, dude. He has plans on plans on plans.
Mm-hmm.
And his biggest goal is to become the most powerful hero of all time. Hear what I just said, not villain. He wants to become the most powerful hero of all time. He wants to be a god so bad.
Oh my God.
Anything that he can to fulfill that goal.
And why do you want to fulfill that goal?
Because he wants people to worship him. He wants to be the one and only. He wants Doom to be the one and only.
Fucking God Doom. Oh my God.
God Emperor Doom, folks. If you don't know, you need to freaking find out about God Emperor Doom, okay?
Now, the man is petty off of that one, too. Who's he marry?
Sue Storm.
Who's he been chasing before he became God Doom?
Sue Storm.
Who is his lapdog?
Because he loves. It's not because he loves her either. It's because It's because he doesn't even love Sue Storm. He just wants her because fucking Reed has her. And Reed is his intellectual rival. So he's like, fuck that. She's got to be mine.
I hate this motherfucker. I want what he has. But hold on, let's go back to God Doom because God Doom is hilarious. Who's his lapdog? It's Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Oh yeah. Wait.
Yes, his lapdog is Cosmic Ghost Rider. And I think it was Tony Stark who was Ghost Rider. No. Who was? No. It's Frank Castle. Yes. That's who's his lapdog. His lapdog is Ghost Rider, and it's Frank Castle. Who does he kill? Thanos.
Yeah, yo. Oh man, dude. That panel lives in my head rent free, bro. All the time.
Mine too.
Fucking Thanos comes up and he doesn't have the Infinity Gauntlet and shit, and he's just like, he's just like, basically talking shit, and he's like, oh, Dr. Doom, like, what are you going to do? He's like, I'm an Eternal, I'm this, I'm that, I've killed half the universe, and then God Emperor Doom just goes, snatches that man's spine, and he pulls a Sub-Zero move on him. Pulls his spine and his fucking skull out.
Oh my god! Like, I'm crying, bro. That shit is hilarious, yo. This man literally severed his bone from his body in one grab, and then he makes a joke out of it, and I'm like, yo, this man's an asshole.
That shit, dude, was
perfect.
It was
perfect.
Oh, bro, I'm crying, yo. Oh my god.
I remember watching a video a while ago. They were talking about Dr. Doom as a character, right? And there's a panel in the comic, and it's an older comic. There's a panel in the comic where Doom, you know how like comic panels are. I mean, kind of like our background, right? It's just like a rectangles most of the time. Sometimes it's like slanted or whatever like that.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the times, the panels, especially in the older times, it was like the characters were meant to be inside those panels and shit, right? Doom was literally at a foot outside of it, and it was basically like to say, and it was coupled with the words, but he wasn't talking about the panel because he wasn't like breaking the fourth wall, but he said none shall hold Doom, and the pictures of him, and it's like he's got literally like a foot outside of the panel. It just goes to show that like Doom is not allowing anyone to do shit to him.
No,
he's not fucking around. Like, he's like, the only time shit happens to me is when I allow it. And most of the times, like, you could argue like, yeah, this is retrospective writing type of shit. But anytime that Doom's seemingly been defeated, it's always been a Doom bot. If he doesn't feel like it needs his attention, he will fucking send a Doom bot in his place.
Yo, Patty, I'm not fighting you. Why would I fight you? I'm not fighting you. It's a waste of my time. Send the Doom bot. And
then not only that, but he is smooth too, bro. You want to talk about smooth?
Hands down.
Oh, there's a panel from there's a page from it's during the Krakoa, or the Hellfire Gala rather. I don't think it was the last. I'm almost certain it wasn't the last one, which resulted in the fall of Krakoa. But I want to say it was the one before that. He was sitting down and having dinner with Storm, and they were just talking, and she had said something along the lines of, basically like feeling. He was like, I would never disrespect somebody. I would never disrespect a goddess and this and that. And she was like, oh, well, what about that business in such and such? And he was like, must have been one of my Doom bots. I don't think. He was like, I would never dare to do something like that to a goddess like you, Storm. And then he's just like complimenting the freaking dish that they're eating. And dude is smooth as fuck, because I could swear to God, I was like, if on the next panel they're fucking, I would not, it wouldn't freaking surprise me, because Doom is smooth like that.
Bro, yeah, he's the man is smooth. He's literally up there. He's number one for a reason. So anybody who watches Marvel knows, like, your number one villain is Dr. Doom. And if you disagree, I think there's something wrong with you. But yeah, so let's keep going. 'Cause number two, you, and you played it. My man who has the smoothest waves in a fucking cartoon.
Yo!
And in comic book history. I swear to God, he has the best waves you'll ever see in your life.
Right. And for a white man at that.
And for a white man. Redhead at that.
Oh, you not lying. A redhead. a redheaded white man that had the cleanest, deepest waves. I'm talking about drowning in them waves, bro.
Bro, whoever created Green Goblin, goated. They gave this white man with red hair and waves. And then to top it all off, which made it even funnier, gave him a do-rag.
Oh, I didn't think about that, but you're right. You are right. The purple cap. Yeah. Okay. I see you there. I see you.
Yo, and they gave him a do-rag.
Yeah, but if you didn't catch by that reference, folks, we're talking about Green Goblin. We're talking about Norman Osborn. He's got to be He's got to be on Mount Rushmore for the Marvel villains. He has to be.
Barry, what's going on, man? I don't know who Barry is, but that sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining us live. Feel free to chime in.
Anytime.
Anyways, so yeah, dude, Green Goblin has to be because of the amount of shit that he's put Spider-Man through. Not only that, but like he graduated from being a Spider-Man villain to an Avengers villain to a Marvel Universe villain.
Which is crazy.
Like,
but
not that, but like, he is the reason why it was the end. He was also one of the markers for the beginning of the Silver Age in comics. The end of the Golden Age and the beginning of the Silver Age was because of him, and it was because that's when people started saying like comic books took a turn after this, and the night Gwen Stacy died, because he's the one who killed her, and it wasn't like overly graphic, but it was like the fact that he threw her down and Spider-Man had to try to catch her. Like, he went for it. He went directly after Spider-Man, like his secret identity. He went directly after him. So that right there, instantly, like it's one of them. Like I said, it's one of the markers for the Silver Age, and because after that, comic books started taking a turn. They started going a little bit darker. They started being a little bit more mature. They stopped being so like happy-go-lucky one-off stories. It was more like it was not anthology. It was like longer storylines. It was like starting to Spider-Man had to mature up from there. It taught him a lesson.
Mm-hmm.
It taught him that like he has to keep his secret life separate. He can't as much as he wants to keep those people, he wants to have those those people know his secret. They can't. He has to keep it separate.
Yeah. Not only that, he's also responsible for he's also responsible for us to get in two other Spider-Man too. So if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have got Miles Morales.
Yeah, you're right.
Him killing Spider-Man. Miles got the powers already. Witnessing Spider-Man die, I was like, well, New York needs a Spider-Man, so I have to step up to be Spider-Man. Not only that, Gwen Stacy Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
He killed same reason. He killed Peter. Peter tried to jump after her, and he caught her, but he didn't survive. Yeah.
I thought it was something different.
It was that one. He killed Peter. He threw Gwen Stacy off. And Peter went to go catch her. He caught her, but he didn't survive the fall. And I think they ended up in the water somehow. I forgot exactly what it was. I was just looking at it recently too. But then now we got Spider-Gwen. That's how we got Spider-Gwen, because she wanted revenge on Green Goblin, and they trapped him. Her and Harry trapped Green Goblin. She was about to shoot him, and she was like, "This is not what Peter would have wanted." Put the gun down. Harry shot Green Goblin, took the mask off, and saw that it was Pops, and then he ended up becoming Hobgoblin.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I thought it was
but that's only in that universe, of course.
Okay. But yeah, dude, I mean, like, instantly, like, you want to talk about one of the greatest, like, nemesis of all times, as far as, like, or again, you want to go, for duos or whatever. You think of Spider-Man, you think of his arch nemesis, you think of Green Goblin.
Hands down. Number one.
Who's put him through the most shit. He's put him through the most shit. And then not only that, like I said, he's graduated from being just Spidey's villain to being a villain of the Marvel Universe. I mean, to the point where he became a quote-unquote superhero. He took over freaking S.H.I.E.L.D. and, created his own Avengers team called the Dark Avengers, wherein he was both Captain America and Iron Man by being the Iron Patriot.
Which is crazy.
And then on top of that, further down the road, he freaking gets a hold of the Carnage symbiote and becomes the freaking Red Goblin. And then so much to the point where they have, even now in the comics, reverted him from a villain to a hero and made him like the Golden Goblin. Like, he's come all the way back around. Like, you got to put him up. You got to put him up on that Mount Rushmore. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't think.
I agree.
So now we got to go into the harder parts, which is going to be 3 and 4. So number 3.
So for me, number 3, I'm going to say Thanos. And it's just probably off of the MCU. I mean, he's probably dope in the comics too. I didn't really get much off of comics Thanos, but man.
Yeah, no, I would say Thanos. Thanos makes sense. So maybe it wasn't that much of a tough decision. Thanos definitely. I mean, he was popular enough to warrant having his own movie in the MCU. Because don't get me wrong, as much as it's called Avengers Infinity War, it might as well have been called Thanos Infinity War. Because he was
Thanos Infinity War. It's been Thanos coming to fuck you up 1 and Thanos coming to fuck you up 2.
For real, literally. Because I mean, say what you want, but he was the main character of Infinity War.
Hands down.
The movie was centered around him. And as much as you want to say it was centered around the heroes, no, we were centering everything around Thanos. And everybody was just in his movie.
I agree. Because Thanos was wild in those. He was beating the shit out of the Avengers in that movie.
And not only that, but I mean, there are a lot of events that are placed around him in Marvel Comics. One of which is the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, and then that spawned some sequels / inspired stories like Infinity Warps, Infinity. He's a big, huge cosmic player, just in general. He deals not just with the Avengers, but all types of cosmic superheroes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that now that I'm thinking about it, if I remember correctly, the Silver Surfer TV show, the animated series, Thanos was the big bad of that show. So that just kind of again goes to show how much influence he had in the comic book world, and then for him to warrant having that kind of spot in a TV show.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say Thanos.
Yeah, and then for number 4, I actually have a good one, and it's to me it's a tour between 2 people, because we're talking about the cosmic entity. I was gonna say Galactus is number 4, but honestly, I'm gonna have to say a bigger part, and this is, I think this is why we got an anti-hero out of it, and we got a hero out of it. I'm gonna have to say Red Skull.
Yeah, okay. I could see your reasoning for that. I would want to say Galactus, but at the end of the day, you got to think about it. Galactus technically isn't a villain. Yes, what he's doing is bad. It's not out of malice or anything like that. It's just he's a force of nature.
And he needs to eat.
He needs to do that in order for not just for him to survive, but for the universe to survive.
Yeah.
It needs to happen in order for the universe to survive. That's the whole point of his character. That's the whole reason why he was created. So yeah, no, I wouldn't say that he's a villain. I would say he's definitely an entity. He's a character in the Marvel universe, and at times, obviously, yes, a bad one, but it's only by circumstance that it's bad.
Actually, you know what? I take that back. I'm sorry, I messed up. It's between three people. I'm gonna take Galactus out. I'm gonna put Red Skull still.
Okay.
To me, this one's hilarious, and I know you're gonna laugh at this. Sabretooth, because that's a petty motherfucker right there too. I'm coming to fight you on your birthday every year. And then the third one, who I was gonna say, is Magneto.
Okay, yeah, right there, instantly, Magneto.
Yeah.
While like as soon as you said Sabretooth, I was like, fuck, I forgot about Magneto. Yeah, dude, no, Magneto.
Yeah.
Magneto has to be. And like, yes, in recent years he's been less of a villain and more of like this good guy or even just a figurehead. But like for 40 years, 50 years before that, he's been a freaking villain, straight up and down, like villain. I mean, at times, yes, a hero, or yes, like, you know, even just like a force for good, but more often than not, he's been a freaking villain. He started off as a villain. He was like the quintessential villain to the freaking X-Men, and not only that, but like a quintessential villain in the the Marvel universe. Like, he is the reason for the Brotherhood of of Evil Mutants. He is the big bad. Other than Apocalypse, he is the big bad of the X-Men like universe.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, number 4 definitely has to be Magneto.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, no, it didn't click with me, and I don't know why. I remember thinking about it like the day we talked about like what we were gonna do, and then I was like, yeah, no, Magneto's got to be on the list. I forgot, and I was starting to think of people like Galactus, freaking Red Skull, other people like that, but no, it's got to be Magneto.
Yeah, oh, hands down. Yeah, I was thinking about that too, and I was like, because I had the 4 in mind before, and then Magneto was definitely going to be number 3, and then it slipped my mind because I started thinking like Thanos, and then I started thinking Sabretooth, because Sabretooth's hilarious. Like, I'm literally coming to fight you every year for your birthday just because I hate you. I hate you with a passion, actually. It's not because I hate you with a passion. So I'm going to fight you every year on your birthday. That's petty. I'm coming to look for you. I know where to find you. And I'm finding you every year on your birthday. Like, that's some funny shit. Imagine somebody coming to fight you every year for your birthday.
Yeah, literally, just because they don't like you and shit.
Yeah,
wherever you are,
and they can find you anytime they want to, but it's just on your birthday they come to find you. But yeah, he was definitely number 4.
Sabretooth recently just killed Dakin.
No.
Yeah, but Dakin's gonna come back to life.
I think I've seen something about that he's coming. They're gonna bring him back to life, and they're gonna bring him back where he's a different type of character, something like that. I've seen something crazy. But yeah. So, due to time limits, I'm gonna say should we jump to the hero side?
Yeah, let's jump to the heroes.
All right. So, number 1, Spider-Man. Get out the way.
One is Spider-Man, bro. Like, there's no ifs or buts about it.
Yeah.
He's the face of Marvel.
Literally. And he wasn't supposed to be, but he's the face of Marvel.
Oh yeah.
He's the most relatable character that there ever be.
Mm-hmm.
Ever.
There's a reason why most, if not all, of the Spider-Man movies were successful. That's why Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse were like the most successful freaking like animated movies, let alone regular movies as well as animated movies in the years that they came out. Like, Spider-Man is so relatable for a lot of people, and then not only that, but like he's so well written, and almost I defy you to find. Oh, I take that back. There's one Spider-Man story that everybody hates, and it's not even necessarily that it's a poorly written story. It's just that what it did to Spider-Man that everybody hates, which is One More Day. But other than that, I defy you to find like a really a poor Spider-Man story.
Good luck.
Even the Spider-Verse books, comic books. Yeah, they've done it a couple of times. They've done that event a couple of times, but each time it's still a banger.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. Like, like so yeah. I okay. There's one other storyline that I could say that people probably don't really like is the Clone Saga, and that's really just because it kind of got drawn out and like after a while nobody really understood what was going on. But I'm one of those guys that kind of likes the Clone Saga as much as I I like to hate it, but I hate to like it type of deal. So, like, it gave me one of my favorite freaking characters of all time, which, god damn it, I don't have the freaking action figure up right next to me. But Scarlet Spider, dude, I love freaking Ben Reilly. I freaking love Ben Reilly. He is like one of my favorite Spider-Mans, and I love his costume, all that shit. And it's because he came out of the freaking Clone Saga. But either way, Spider-Man's number one on that Mount Rushmore.
Hey, look, I gotta agree. Spider-Man's definitely number one for me. I mean, like you know, Ben's your favorite. Miles is my favorite. Why? Because to me, it's relatable. Kid from New York City, originally from Brooklyn, that's going into Manhattan. Black Dominican kid. It's like me. I'm a black Puerto Rican. I went from Manhattan to Brooklyn. So it's definitely to me relatable to the point where like it's going to be my son's name.
Oh, for real? Wait,
Yeah.
did you do this already?
I did. Well, I think I did, but if I didn't, now you know. Like that's his name. His name's Miles. His name's going to be Miles.
Oh man, awesome. That's great.
Yeah. So, like I said, definitely relatable. But you know, everybody loves the starter kit. You know, Peter Parker. Peter Parker is the reason why we have all these Spider-Men that we can like. So, Spider-Man's number one.
Spider-Man's 100% number one. Number two, Wolverine.
I knew you were gonna say that. And the funny thing is, my wife said the same thing. She said Wolverine's number two, right? The Wolverine's up there, right? I said not for me, but for Nico, yeah. But I knew you were gonna say that, yeah. Wolverine, face of the X-Men. Can't argue that point.
The face of the X-Men, for real. Like, in after so many years, like he's the face of the X-Men, and no matter how many times they try to fucking kill Wolverine, that mother effer comes right back.
Mm-hmm.
He just comes back, and like it's, yes, you could argue, okay, well that's popularity's sake, but like you gotta think about it, dude. Back in the like, everybody tries to think, oh, who's the Trinity of Marvel, and then you know, in recent years, people think you know Cap, Thor, Iron Man, but they're the big three of the Avengers, not of all Marvel. Mm-hmm. All Marvel, Spider-Man, Wolverine, Hulk were always the most popular characters coming out of Marvel comic books. I mean, like Wolverine has, I mean, he's got a big part in the X-Men animated series. He's got the biggest part in the X-Men movies. Not to mention, he spawned 3, you know, spin-offs from that series. He's had a bunch of events centered around him in the X-Men universe of Marvel as well as of Marvel. So, like, it's got to be Wolverine. Plus, he's the best at what he's the best there is.
I'm the best what it is, bub. I'm gonna have to disagree unless you have this person up here too. To me, number 2, it has to be Black Panther.
No, Black Panther is definitely, I would say he's up there for sure.
Okay, so yeah, for me, I'm gonna have to definitely say Black Panther. So I guess this be number 3. Me, I'm not really much a Wolverine fan, but I understand why people love Wolverine. Right. Like you said, he's the best at what he does. But to me, number 3, I would have to put up there is going to be Black Panther. Why? First off, he's the second black hero that we ever got, I think, behind Blade, if I'm correct. I think we had this argument. But I think we had this conversation before. Who?
Besides John Stewart.
Yeah, besides John Stewart. First of all, the man runs his own country.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're not going to go through the whole fucking process, but I'm going to talk about T'Challa. I'm not talking about T'Chaka. I'm talking about T'Challa in this sense. He runs his whole country. Not only he runs his whole country, he's fending off surrounding countries with the power of the Black Panther. So he fights other countries to see who can be the king of Wakanda. Not only that, He's an Avenger. He's also an Illuminati because he's one of the smartest. Not only just like of course he's rich, but he's also one of the smartest on that council as well. So he's just one of the strongest and one of the smartest. So you gotta commend a king, a king like that. Got to do it for Wakanda.
You know, some people would argue that if he's not the second smartest in the world, he's definitely the smartest in the world.
Yeah, and that's behind Reed.
And that's just behind. Is it Reed or is it?
It's Reed. Reed Rich is the smartest man in the world. And it's Reed, T'Challa, Tony.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not.
Technically, it's supposed to be Doom.
It's actually supposed to be Amadeus.
Amadeus show.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, also too, it's supposed to be Moon Girl. Supposedly, Moon Girl is the smartest, but I don't know.
Which is weird. But off of the Illuminati itself, it's Reed, T'Challa, Tony.
Yeah.
And then Xavier.
And then Xavier, right? 100%. No, yeah, I would definitely agree with Black Panther. I mean, like the man literally, he knows every way to take out all of the Avengers, all of the superheroes in Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
That's like established. He knows how to take out every hero in Marvel. Like he constantly trains with them. He constantly like he's him, bro. He is him.
Oh,
there's no doubt about it. And like, I mean, I 100% I wish that we would have gotten Black Panther like in the movies long before when we first got him.
I agree.
Because like he needs that respect on his name. And like, I'm not saying that like comic book nerds don't respect him or anything like that. I'm talking about the wider like audience. They need to know like Black Panther is that guy. Yeah,
it's sad that you only got a gist of what Black Panther really can do. Like right. we only got what, like three movies of Black Panther?
Like four.
Civil War,
Black Panther,
Infinity War,
and then Endgame. That's it.
Yeah, so we didn't get a real taste of what they was gonna show what Black Panther really can do. But for the time being of what we got, he put on, like, rest in peace to this man's soul. Chadwick Boseman definitely put on a show for the Black Panther.
Oh yeah, 100%, man. And I mean, he definitely embodied the character because, like, you know, he truly, like, you know, acted on king shit as like being Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
He knew how important it was to people. He knew how important it was to, you know, young boys to see themselves on the big screen. And while fighting through freaking colon cancer, went to shoot every day for all those movies. You know, in between doing treatments, coming back and freaking, you know, filming the movie and stuff like that. Not freaking telling anybody about it. Freaking like not. And I'm not saying like, oh yeah, that's what men should do, but like that's what he did. He did that because he was like, you know, this is bigger than me. I have to be an example. This is what I'm going to do. Like, and so exactly the same as like what I imagine T'Challa would have done is what he did.
I agree.
And that's the kind of king that T'Challa is too. Like he always stands on business.
Mm-hmm.
Standing on business.
Yeah. So Marvel, I definitely want to say that was a great job of a choice of Black Panther. Like I said, rest in peace. Definitely wish we got to see more, but well deserved of a number 3 spot because of just who the character is itself. Because that character definitely, like you said, stand on business, and he plays no shit when it comes to his family, his country, his friends.
Yeah, 100%. Now, number 4. I'm stuck on who to pick for like the 4th on this.
I was too. Um, I had four people in mind for this position, and one of them is really biased. I'm gonna say. Well, actually, I had five. Two of them are biased. Two of them are X-Men. You already know who I'm picking. It wasn't Storm, even though Storm definitely belongs up there. But no, it wasn't Storm. I was gonna say like Gambit or Nightcrawler, right? But that's not realistically two people that you really should be putting up on on there. But number four, my tie was between Iron Man, Captain America, or Thor. And I'm not big on Thor.
So I would agree. So yeah, I agree on the X-Men. However, I feel like we already got a representative with Wolverine, and probably, I mean, although Nightcrawler is my favorite, I understand that his popularity in terms of like from him to Wolverine, like Wolverine's up there. So I could honestly say like, yeah, no, probably not Rushmore. Maybe of X-Men just in general, but Cap, Iron Man. I understand Thor, but if I had to pick between Thor and Hulk, I would almost say Hulk. Say what?
Mm-hmm. No, I was agreeing with you. I was gonna say I'm picking the Hulk.
Yeah.
But for that last spot, to me, it has to be between Cap and Iron Man.
Yeah, that's the only other thing is like, yeah, I would say it has to be between Cap and Iron Man, and honestly, that's a hard decision, dude.
It is. So it's literally like you have to joust with those two because like that's two people who really stand on business.
It would have to be like a 4 and 5 spot type of deal. So like with Cap, while in the movies, yes, I like where he is. Like I like him in the movies and stuff. In the comic books, there's a reason why people come to Captain America in the comics, and it's because A, he stands on business, and B, like he like really it's the number one thing. It's he stands on business. Like it's whatever he says, like he's the way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when we say like, you know, this is the way.
This is the way.
It's, you know, it's like, you know, captain's orders type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Just to piggyback off of that as well. I think you did say like he's literally the most respected hero in comic books. Like you said, everybody goes to Cap when they have a problem or they want to talk to him about something. He's always listening. Why? Because that he understood. I want to say understood, but he understands from their perspective as well. So he's never been a biased person. He always keeps an open mind, and that's why people respect Captain America and always wants to be around Captain America.
Right, exactly. And then like he sticks by who he is, and he sticks by what he believes in.
Mm-hmm.
He never freaking like he never crumbles on that. He never freaking like, and like the only time that I ever see that like happening is when they did Secret Empire, and like literally that's like one of the most hated comic panels of all time. Was when he's, you know, it shows Cap saying Hail Hydra to somebody, and it was just like, what? So like, yeah, no, that was, and as we find out that like that was all just like a whole huge like, you know, thing with the cosmic cube, alternate reality type bullshit. So like, yeah, no, like when it comes to Cap, it's, you know, Cap stands on what he believes in, and he does not budge from that. He does not
a lot.
And he believes in like the true American way. He believes in, you know, his people. He believes in like, you know, the goodness of people and stuff like that. So like, yeah, everybody respects him for that.
And then you got the opposite of Tony Stark, the party goer, the biggest bachelor. But when it comes to like same thing, when it comes to business, that man is about his business. When that suit goes on, leave that man alone. Leave him alone. because he's gonna, if you piss him off, that unibeam, it don't look cool when you're looking at that unibeam.
Right, exactly.
But
Yeah, so I would, yeah, he's definitely influential in comics, and then on top of that, like the fact that they took, like, before, I'll be 100% honest, before 2008, Iron Man wasn't nearly as popular as he is now.
mm-hmm.
So before the first Iron Man movie came out, he was not that popular. Like he was, but he was, but like literally just in the community. I would argue that more people knew about Captain America than they knew about Iron Man.
Oh, hands down. The only reason why I knew, oh, sorry, go ahead.
You're good. Go ahead.
I would say the only reason why I even knew about Iron Man or anybody in an Iron Man suit like Iron Man, War Machine is because of the Iron Man cartoon. Did I like the cartoon? I didn't like it. I thought the cartoon was stupid. It's just a man in a fucking tin can suit that
Right.
can get like that can shoot blasts. So I was like, I've never been an Iron Man fan, so I understand where they're coming from with what you're saying as well.
No, yeah, no, but since then, and really, it's like it's the portrayal of him on screen, and then ultimately like his whole entire story arc. I would say that makes him like that in itself would give him a spot on the Mount Rushmore. But even then, like now I'm starting to, like, I keep thinking about it. I'm thinking like I feel like Cap should probably be up there above Iron Man,
Mm-hmm.
but like a close fifth. Like Iron Man's like right up there. Like if there was another head on that statue or on that that monument, it would be Iron Man's.
I have to agree. I think Cap definitely deserves that last spot. Like we pointed out, he's just another big blue. So there's no way you can't not have Captain America in your top spot.
And like I said, Captain's orders, man. Like everybody at Marvel like knows and understands that. So like, yeah, I would say for the heroes, it would definitely be
Spider-Man, Wolverine,
Black Panther,
and Cap. Mm-hmm.
If you want to argue that there's no representation of women on that list in Marvel, honestly, I'm sure I struggled to find a more influential like female superhero. The two that I could really think of, they're both X-Men, is Jean Grey and Storm.
Oh, you're doing.
No,
honestly, you're right.
Storm above Jean Grey, even though Jean Grey had a lot of stories centered around her, especially in the X-Men universe. But outside of that, like
honestly, I can't give you one. I can't. I was gonna say Captain Marvel, but she's not as big. Even with the movies, like the movies kind of like a lot of people don't like the movies. I think the movies aren't that bad, but she's not as big as what she's supposed to. Even the cartoons, like the cartoons do more justice for her, but a lot of people don't watch cartoons. So I gotta agree with you. I'm gonna have to say it's between Storm or Jean. I was gonna say Storm off the bat, but Wolverine, like you said, who's the more popular X-Men? X-Men, Wolverine. So
right.
I gotta agree with you. And then, yeah, honestly,
like Wasp, not that influential. Black Widow, influential.
No. Like you said, Moon Girl, she's not as big. Ironheart, not big yet. A lot of people are going to start finding more about her from her show. I think they still have the show coming up.
Yeah.
There really aren't that many women. Miss Marvel, not big.
Miss Marvel, not as big. No.
No. So it's like it's not many women superheroes on the Marvel side that has that big.
That has presence as like Wonder Woman does on the Justice League.
Exactly.
Or on DC side, you know what I'm saying? So like not as big of an influence. I would say that there's not one that has as much influence in Marvel comics as much as Wonder Woman does in DC.
I agree. No, I'm saying I agree with you. I really can't think of anybody.
Yeah,
I can rattle off some women that's in Marvel, but not as big as, like you said, Wonder Woman.
I mean, hey, if you're out there and you're a fan of these of Marvel comics and you feel otherwise, you feel like, hey, maybe there is a female superhero or even a supervillain that you feel should be on on these monuments or on the Mount Rushmore or whatever, let us know in the comments. Like, we would love to talk about it because, like, honestly, like, yeah, maybe put me on game, maybe put me on somebody that maybe I overlooked or maybe that we're not thinking of right now. Because yeah, I don't. The only one, like I said, the only ones that I'm thinking of are X-Men characters, and we already have, probably the most popular X-Men character on that list right now. So
yeah. And then for Avengers, it's like she's like a split. I had I was gonna say either Scarlet Witch or Black Widow, but again, doesn't hit the same as a Wonder Woman. So I'm like you said, if anybody has any other ideas for a woman that belongs on that Marvel villain or even either side, Marvel or DC villains, a Marvel DC villain hero that you feel like that should be in the Mount Rushmore, please, we would love to talk about it more.
100%. Now I know we're not going to be able to hit the indies like we said.
No, so we can do it next week. Let's do it. Not next week, but let's do it the next time we. Because I would love to do that, and also maybe what, I'm feeling real good. We might even have to do a Mount Rushmore for anime.
Yes,
for us.
I was gonna say yes. That's 100%. Like, we need to do that because
I already got my biased opinions already, so that has to happen.
100%, dude. 100%. Well, I know that you probably got to get out of here like now, right?
Yeah, I got to jet out of here now. So you know what? Can you do me a favor?
What's that, man? I know the class is dismissed, right? Class is dismissed, folks.
It's Think, Omni-Man voice. Hit that intro.
Intro? I don't want to hit the intro.
No, but I definitely love the outro though.
All right, bet. Peace.
This is the way.